Disclaimer. This video contains video footage and music from a game that I did not create. Plants vs. Zombies is owned by Electronic Arts and PopCap Games. This video contains mild blood and gore and dismemberment, as well as some maybe frightening imagery. To some people, I guess. This video does contain light spoilers for Plants vs. Zombies as well. Viewer discretion is advised. This video contains opinions from some guy on the internet whose opinions don't matter. I'm not trying to attack any other opinions, nor do I believe that my opinion is in any way factual or objective. If you hate opinions other than yours, please use discretion when commenting. This video is not intended for children under the age of 13, nor is the rest of my channel. The Child Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA, states that nobody under the age of 13 should have, among other things, a YouTube account. Hello boyos and girlos, and welcome to The Grind, the show where I review games in an attempt to give you my opinion as to whether it's worth buying or not. I've decided that for my first episode, I'm going to be covering one of my favorite childhood games, and if you read the title, you already know what it is, Plants vs. Zombies. And I have loads of nostalgia from this game series, so this review is going to be a bit more biased than usual. Plants vs. Zombies released in 2009 is a tower defense game created by PopCap Games with the help of designer George Fan, programmer Todd Semple, artist Rich Werner, writer Stephen Notley, and composer Laura Shigihara. The game follows the player as zombies rise from their graves in an attempt to eat the player's brain. Luckily, however, the player's neighbor, Crazy Dave, arrives to give the player the resources to fight the zombies. After a few levels, of course. These resources are some of the plants and tools you get throughout the game. I'll go into more detail about the plants in the gameplay section. It's up to the player to use a variety of plants through 50 levels, 40 puzzles and minigames, and 11 survival modes to crush the ever-evolving zombie hordes. Plants vs. Zombies doesn't have much in the store department, but it's a standalone game and it's a franchise, really, so this section will be shorter than it will be in future episodes of The Grind. The player is at home when zombies begin invading their lawn. The tutorial begins with the player instinctively planting seeds and having these seeds to defend their lawn from the zombies. Their front yard is the zombies' first target, and after a short time, the player's neighbor, Crazy Dave, arrives. He teaches the player to bowl walnuts. Okay, not the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Later on, however, he becomes a lot more important, as the shop provides many useful things for the player to use. The zombies then attack the front yard that night and fail again due to the player's newly acquired mushrooms. They attack the player's backyard and make me question the player's choice of pool design. That night, fog encroaches, and the player has to deal with it, nighttime, and the water parts, making it the most challenging level set, at least in my opinion. The next day, the zombies attack from the roof, before the leader, Dr. Zomboss, gets fed up and attacks your roof himself, along with the zombie horde, and really making me question the player's roof integrity. Afterwards, they dance, and the game ends. Short, sweet, and to the point. Plants vs. Zombies shines in its gameplay above all else. Plants vs. Zombies' gameplay loop goes as follows. You start the level, check which zombies are on the right. You pick your plants depending on the zombies on the right. Start the level and begin placing your plants to the left so they can fight the zombies that are coming from the right. Rinse and repeat on a 5x9 grid for 50 levels, 20 puzzles, and 20 minigames, and 11 survival modes. As the level progresses, you gain Sun, and that allows you to plant your plant army to defend against the zombies. Unless you're in a conveyor belt level, of course. Each plant does a different thing that can be sometimes really helpful, and sometimes redundant, where lawnmowers protect your grass lanes as the last line of defense should a zombie make it across. Be careful, however, as once they're gone, they stay gone. Unless you're playing the mobile version, in which case you can watch an ad to replace them. Don't play the mobile version. In Plants vs. Zombies, there are 5 main level sets. These are day, night, pool, fog, and roof, each lasting 10 levels, minigames and survival notwithstanding. In the day, you fight easy zombies and sun falls from the sky. In the night, you rely on nocturnal mushrooms, which cost less than your normal troops, which you'll need due to the lack of sun being dropped from the sky. In the pool, lily pads are needed to make pool lanes defendable, which the zombies will frequently use as the backyard is no longer off limits. In the fog, it's nighttime again, at the pool this time, with the heavy fog shrouding the zombies in darkness until they are spotted. Finally, the roof, where flower pots and catapults are needed to defend out the zombies' last hope and your arching roof. It's to be noted that the pool and roof lanes don't have lawnmowers by default until you buy them from Crazy Dave's store. Now for the plants. There are 49 usable plants in Plants vs. Zombies, with 8 of them being upgrades of plants being able to be purchased in Crazy Dave's shop along with the imitator. You have many things. The basic turrets in the form of the pea shooter and its variants. You have resource plants such as the sunflower and other plants like it. You have walls like the walnut line and the pumpkin. Explosives such as the cherry bomb and jalapeno. Many other plants both for raw damage and utility that make for a very interesting experience. Some other plants I'd like to mention are the spikeweed and its 20 dinky upgrade, spike rock, which damage zombies that step on them and pop tires, the garlic, which gets zombies out of the lane it's in when they try to eat it, the cattail, the objectively better cactus, which is plantable in pool lanes once a lily pad is left available due to being its 20-day key upgrade. Starfruit, which fires in 5 directions, being up, backwards, diagonally, up and down, and the Scaredy Shroom, which shoots zombies only when they're not up close to them. There are many different mini-games in the game as well, complete with 2 puzzle modes, though I have to admit I don't like the puzzle modes that much. Some of my favorite mini-games are Portal Combat, where portals will randomly show up and affect zombie and projectile pathing with you being forced to adapt, seeing stars where you have to survive while making a star out of the aforementioned starfruits, and Call 'em Like You See 'em, where every plant goes in all 5 rows instead of just 1. The 2 puzzle modes are Vase Breaker and iZombie. Vase Breaker is an RNG-reliant mess where you break vases to get plants to fight the zombies that come out of the vases. iZombie mode is where zombies ask Crazy Dave to help them practice getting brains, so they go to your yard with cardboard cutouts that somehow function like real ones, as you control the zombies to get the brains in each lane. I dislike both due to their reliance on RNG, partly ruining the experience when you get layouts like this! Crazy Dave's shop provides you with many things, including things for your Zen Garden, 8 upgrades to plants you already have, the Imitator, a plant which can copy any plant's abilities, lawnmowers for your pool and roof lanes, a useless tree, and the enigma above all else, the garden. Now for the gripes I have with the game. First, the elephant in the room, EA. I'm not going to delve into this here as I want to do a Plants vs. Zombies franchise retrospective one of these days, and EA is going to play a heavy role in it. In short, EA bought PopCap Games and then immediately fired creator George Fan. Why? Well, according to Edmund McMillan, creator of the games Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac, Fan was fired due to him objecting to EA wanting to inject pay-to-win mechanics in future titles. In the end, EA did it anyway and got a very scummy reputation for repeatedly doing it. This is why I don't like EA, despite me buying many of their products. Anyway, now into things that actually affect me. Next, we have the achievements. I like a lot of the achievements present within Plants vs. Zombies, especially as a guy who loves getting his Steam achievement percentage above 27%. But some of these achievements are just excessive. Most aren't, but the following are incredibly frustrating, tedious, or both. Immortal requires you to get to 20 flags in Survival Endless, in which most zombies are randomized. You can get the Survival Endless exclusive zombie, the Giga Gargantuar, which can and will decimate you if you don't waste all of your resources to nuke it immediately. This can happen as early as the 3rd set of flags. China Shop and Better Off Dead require you to get streaks of 15 and 10 respectively in Vase Breaker and iZombie, which is entirely reliant on RNG as to whether or not you can get that far. Now, for the pinnacle of bad achievements. Towering Wisdom requires you to spend 250,000 gold on fertilizer for a tree that does nothing for you but tell you useless facts, stuff you already knew, or give you funny haha cheat codes that do nothing but give the zombies mustaches. The worst part is that the game doesn't give you a whole lot of money unless you farm it, so the achievement is made the most tedious and unnecessary in the game. At least with the don't use X type of plant in the level built around it achievements, you can cheese them in easy survival. But this? Inexcusable. Third in the gripes, we have some of the plants, mainly how the game chooses to make some plants outwardly redundant. The main victims of this are the cactus and the snow pea. Starting with the cactus has one job: knock down balloon zombies. Otherwise it's identical to the pea shooter, except that it's useless when paired with torchwood. The cactus then gets a twitty dinky replacement that does exactly what it can do but better, as the cattail can not only pop balloons, but shoot zombies at a much faster rate and in any lane. The snow pea, however, has some early game utility. At the point in the game when you get it, coneheads are actual threats, and one snow pea can get rid of it. If only it were for the fact that you get a better conehead destroyer 2 levels later in the form of the repeater, which has multiple clear advantages over the snow pea. The torchwood empowers peas shot through it, and the snow pea only gets unfrozen. Meanwhile, regular peas deal double damage once they catch on fire. Additionally, those deal some extra splash damage on hit. Repeaters shoot 2 peas, so 4 times the damage when put through torchwood than the snow pea, plus splash damage. To put more salt in the wound, the melon pulp gets a twitty dinky upgrade called the winter melon, which makes the snow pea obsolete. Lastly, we have a few annoying zombies. First is the digger zombie, a zombie that digs underneath your troops to take them out from behind if left unchecked. A spike rock or split pea can take them out, but they can still be annoying due to the lack of counterplay outside of magnet troops. Next are ladder zombies, which place ladders over defensive plants to completely mitigate the plant's defensive qualities until magnetized by a magnet troop. This can lead to lane wipes if you're not careful. Next are catapults and zombonis, which are both annoying due to their high speed and ability to instantly crush plants, as well as shoot plants in the back or create ice trails that can't be planted on, and eventually summon bobsleds if left unchecked. Gargantuars are durable insta-killers too, but at least they're slow. Last but not least, the famous newspaper zombie, which hulks out when its newspaper is destroyed. It's only really annoying in the early levels of the game or early in levels, but it can still decimate you if you leave it unattended. Now it's time for the good things in the game. First off, the character designs. I love them all. The aesthetic of the game and its character designs just breathe personality and charm in every single design. The plant designs are almost always indicative of what the plant does just by looking at them, and the zombies almost always do the same. Some highlights are the Gravebuster, Scaredy Shroom, Pumpkin, and then the Newspaper Zombie. Many others are really good as well, but those are my favorite designs. Next, the music. Oh lord, did Laura Shigihara do a good job. Every song in the game carries a cheerful vibe representative of the comedic apocalypse the game takes place in, all the while representing each area spectacularly. And that credits song. The credits song is absolutely hilarious and downright awesome. Next is the Zen Garden. The Zen Garden is a relaxing change of pace that can gain you profits with you watering and caring for potted plants. I only have one problem with the Zen Garden, and that's bug spray. I'm sure that all of you out there that have played this game know the hell that it is to make a profit off of the Zen Garden when every single plant wants bug spray. It costs 1,000 coins for 5 of them, and every plant wants it. At least the phonograph is reusable. After that, the Almanac. I love bestiaries, and this is no exception. The Almanac tells the player about every plant they've earned and every zombie they've fought, as well as a tongue-in-cheek paragraph about them which just oozes with character. Poor Gargantuar. I know you'll find that big zombie GF for you someday, big guy. Lastly, we have the gameplay. Again, I won't talk about it in too much detail due to the gameplay section already being present, but many fun combinations and challenge runs can be created in Plants vs. Zombies. Beating the initial campaign and playing through it again causes Crazy Dave to pick 3 plants for you, that if you want change, you'll have to manually close and reopen your game again. These often lead to fun combinations, and I'm one of those guys who feels he has to use the 3 plants picked by Dave to do this. Now sometimes, he gives you utter trash, but most of the time the combinations are more interesting than anything else. I love the variety in the Plants and Zombies, even if some seem stupidly good or bad, or stupidly annoying even. Unlike some games, playing Plants vs. Zombies never feels like a chore unless you go for completion. It never overstays its welcome, and it's always pleasant to just pick up and play, even just to go into the Zen Garden for Okay, so with all that information being spewed into your brain after that, let's take a look at it all and formulate a final ranking. I've got many things to both gush over and complain about when it comes to Plants vs. Zombies, but that is out of nothing but passion for the game. I'm amazed and grateful that the franchise is still going strong, and that this game started that. It doesn't hold as big of a place in my heart as, say, Ben 10 in terms of childhood nostalgia, but it definitely comes close. I originally played the demo version back in, I want to say, 2012, and I fell in love with it. So this review I think is very biased, but I don't think it came here for a wholly objective review, as the entire concept of review is that it's subjective in some aspects. Let's tally everything up. We have a decent story for the game within, fantastic gameplay design even if there are a few things that plague it like the achievements, fantastic music, and fantastic visual design. All in all, I think Plants vs. Zombies deserves a 9 out of 10. Amazing game overall, but nothing that really thrusts it into the above and beyond of a 10. It's got many great features, but it's got a few things holding it down, as well as a sort of smog surrounding it about George Fan and EA that I sadly can't ignore. It has a lot of charm and an engaging and fun world and gameplay, but in the end, some issues bog down the game's rating. A perfect 10 in my eyes is a game that does everything flawlessly, and that its flaws in development can be ignored because the game really is that good. Plants vs. Zombies has notable issues, not just petty ones, with it being stuck at 4x3 for some reason, and the scummy practice of EA ruining part of it in my eyes. The puzzle modes could be taken out, and honestly the game would be better for it. All in all, however, I couldn't recommend this game enough, especially to younger fans or fans who have younger siblings. This game is great for kids and adults alike who don't mind a little bit of spoopiness in their games. Oh, you're still here? Well, I guess. Thanks for watching this episode of The Grind and listening to me ramble about a game I thoroughly enjoy for a while. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I gotta go train my salad to fight the undead, so I have an excuse not to.